Hello, hello, and how are we on this fine day? I hope everybody had a great and wonderful Thanksgiving. I know I had turkey and I had dressing and sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce. Most important thing you can have.
What do you mean? I don't like cranberry sauce.
Well, I might not be a big fan of it either, but did you know, and this is a tip for you, that the cranberry sauce, the red coloring within the cranberry sauce, it is very unfriendly with bladder infection. The little microbes that cause a bladder infection look like little tiny pills, which you can't see unless you got yourself a microscope. And they have little hairy feelers all over them, and they get in there and they to the side of the bladder, right onto the wall, and they cause an infection. And then you got problems, huh? So you say, hey, what can I help? What can I do to help improve that situation? And it does work. You can drink cranberry juice, because what happens is the red coloring that goes through your system, it gets all over the sticky little feelers on the bladder infection bugs, and they can't stick, and they get weed right on out. So just a tip for you. That's why I eat all the cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving. So, and I hope your Thanksgiving was really good too. We had a lot of good stuff. We were blessed by the good Lord Jehovah, our God in heaven. He looked down upon us and made sure we were taken care of by making good decisions in life. Like that one where you have to get up and go to work so you can pay for everything, huh? Yes. So anyway, I'm here today, and I thought, you know what? I just was upstairs. I shot a little video of stirring some chocolate on a quickie, and it's not a quickie, I guess it's what they call it, a short. And then I did myself upstairs eating one this morning, having some coffee, and guess what? It's got a lot of sugar in it, eh? And I told some fibs. I said, I got nothing to do, so I'm gonna make coffee, huh? Well, that's not true. I got so much stuff to do, I don't know what to do first, so what do? Go make some coffee. Right, all right. So, hey, today we have the traditions. The traditions Flintlock. As you can see, has a little Flintlock cover on it I put on there. That's a tight one, huh? A little cute little bugger. Because this is a very tiny lock. Very tiny. And she sparks pretty good. But it is a rifle. There's a rifling in it. I don't know if you can't see no rifling, but maybe if we get it right into light. But she's a rifled one. Now my son has one just like it. Matter of fact, he got this one for me. Doesn't have a set trigger. And he got him a deer a couple of years ago with it, a nice doe. But it does have the wooden ramrod. Now somebody sent me a tip, and they said to take in the old Indian musket ramrods, you can replace them with a good oak ramrod. Soak it in some kerosene, and it'll make it a little more flexible so you don't break it. And you can use that, and it makes a nice ramrod. But this is the ramrod. It's got the metal on both ends, and that's the one they got for this Kentucky one. Now, if you're going to take one of these, and you're going to load it, you take it, put your ramrod in, should this ping and bounce. Oh, as a matter of fact, the ramrod they give you is apparently too short, because if it don't have a load in it, it disappears in there, right? But then it goes. We got this thing, and we did some blank shooting with it and stuff. But if you want to do blank shooting and play with something, you want a smooth bore. That's the best one. That's it. But anyway, you get in there and you get to putting stuff down in there, and you're using this ramrod. You want to get down here on the barrel as close as you can to put it in. You don't want to get clear up here and try it, because if it's jammed, it may bend and then you might break your ramrod. And you don't want to do that. But if you're careful, you might be able to use them, or you might not be able to get loaded, one or the other. But that is the traditions. Kentucky Flintlock has a very thin stock on it, and it's a little scary with this pointy elbow here. But needless to say, this stock is not, it looks like, does it look like real wood to you? Does it? Does it look like real wood? These are laminated, yeah? That'll all peel off of there. They're laminated stocks, so you don't want to get any water on them whatsoever. So when you take these and clean them, you better figure out how to get them wedges out of them, because it's wedged on barrel, just like the other ones, the 18th century models. Kentucky rifle's nice. It's in 2 pieces. It comes apart here. But yes, you do not want to get that stock wet whatsoever, because ew, what a mess. So they're made in Spain, I do believe, but there it is. Now what I was doing was I was going to try to compare it. I'll take the two. Now look at this. I'm going to hold up the side of it, the Potsdam, and yes, I do have the Potsdam this time. Oh my goodness, yes. You can tell because it has a flat frizzen on the top. As you can see, the frizzen is flat up there. It's not rounded. But anyway, this is the comparison. Look at the difference in the size of them locks. I'll put it in front and behind. I mean, my goodness. Put it in front of it. Look at that. Try to pass this by the camera so that you can see what we got there. And then I may lay it down on the table. But yeah, there's the comparison between the Potsdam and the Traditions Flintlock. And the Traditions Flintlock is not what I call a low-priced item for the crappy laminated stock. And it even has 2 different collars on the stock in the front of it. These were sent back because we got them, shot them, cleaned them up, and all the lamination started peeling off of it. So we had to send it back, and they redid it. And they look good, I guess, for being redone. But still, you know, it's a lot of money to spend on something and have to send it in for work and stuff like that. But it has a patch box on it, which is, I guess, I don't know, I guess you have to get something to pick it open with, because I can't open it right now by hand. There's a little tiny spring. But I'm going to do the Potsdam pistol compared. Now, mind you, this here Kentucky Traditions rifle is way more accurate. It's rifled and everything, and it's a very dangerous rifle, where the Potsdam, of course, is smoothbore, so it's more shotgunny. I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to go over these 2 back and forth and let you see what we got. You'll see the different wood grains, because one's a light wood and the other one goes dark. It's not even matching. It's like you got 2 different stocks on this thing. The bottom part is the one they redid. It looks like wood, but it's not. I mean, it's laminated as far as I can tell. But maybe the bottom now is real wood, but I wouldn't scrape it or try to figure that out. Knock a big plastic chunk out of it, right? So when you're buying these, you gotta realize what you're getting. And well, that's how it is. So let's do that now. Let's take the camera and pan over these 2. And you're looking at the Potsdam. Look at the size of that lock compared to this little thing, huh?
It's a little baby. It's a little baby. Oh, nice little baby.
But I'll tell you what, she can get you a deer. She can do that, right? She's very nice. Yeah, the Potsdam is very nice. It's got the agate stone, and of course here a while back I got all confused, got the wrong pistol. I had the 12-inch C service. I said, the 12-inch C service pistol, when I should have had the Potsdam. Yes, but I like this Potsdam. You could shoot it with 2 hands. Just get it out there. You know, I don't know if you're allowed to hunt deer with these things or not. I suppose you better check your rules and regulations. You might be able to. I don't know. But it is a Flintlock. It doesn't have any markings on the lock or nothing, but it is the Potsdam model, right? And of course this guy here, you know, I just got the 2 bolts there. I don't have no metal plate or nothing. Although it's modern and machined and fancier that way, this is actually cooler on the side. It's the serpent without the serpent, right? Like in the trade guns on the Potsdam. But that's a comparison between the Traditions Kentucky Flintlock which I could tell you where we got it at. And if you buy stuff from there, like this, you're gonna have to get Traditions to help you, because apparently they don't care, right? Don't tell them where you got it at, because it's not. It's, well, you know. Would you buy another one? No, I would not. I got into these older India Flintlocks. I don't really have no use for these ones, but they're all right. They're cool. I don't want to really put them down. I mean, if you were going to go hunting and I was wanting to put food on the table because I was really hungry, I'd probably try the Traditions because it's got the rifle barrel. That's right. That's what I would do. Certainly wouldn't want to go out and take a chance with a smooth bore and miss my food. So that makes a lot of difference. You know, if you're hunting for food or not, you're going to want the best particular product for the job. And I would say the little Kentucky one would probably be more apt to put food on the table for you. And that's so I would want to use that. How does it spark? Yeah, this spark's okay. You want to see a spark out of the Kentucky rifle compared to the Potsdam. We could do that, I suppose. And you could see, because that's always interesting. So you're looking at a traditional, regular, real flintstone in this Kentucky rifle. It doesn't have a Traditions agate stone, but the Potsdam does. So the stone that's in the Potsdam is really the stone that's supposed to be in this Kentucky Traditions flintlock. So we got it ready to go. It's a real nice, it's a nice little lock. But we'll see. Let's try the set trigger and see what it does. It clicks, huh? And then when you touch this, it should be a hair trigger. Yep, and it was a hair trigger too, buddy, let me tell you. So that works good. Very nice. But that's how it works. And the Potsdam, let's do that one now, right? Let's do it. Half cock. Put down some big frizzing. This thing's a tank compared to that little thing. Full cock. And then the agate stone, and there's that one. And it has a whole different sound to it than what the little Kentucky does, but that's how they flash and everything. Scrape a little steel down, but I don't really complain about them agate stones. They seem to do the job, you know. So, but yes, if you're not getting any spark, try moving your flint around. I've learned that one because I haven't napped any of these flints, and I just keep using the same flint over and over again, not really busting them up. But some people say, oh, you only get 5 shots out of a flint, or you get 10, or you might get 50, you might get 20. I just like, it seems like they just work really good. I think I shot a video and it just kept flashing in the pan, and then when I figured out I didn't put any powder in it, I dry balled it and I got some powder in it and everything, and it went off, and I tried to reload it and then I couldn't get it to go. But it sure was flashing in the pan good every time, practically, you know. You have no powder in there, it couldn't go off. So, and sometimes your stone gets a little bit loose, and if that happens, they can not be getting enough impact to get you a good scrape on the old steel. And of course, it's always a challenge to figure it out. I see some folks on there, they'll say, well, you know how to load, and I do that too. I'm guilty. Guilty, I'm guilty. You say, well, you've seen videos. There's like hundreds of videos on this, man. I don't need to show you how to do it. But you know, everybody does things differently, and I've thought that before. I've sat there and thought, oh man, if one more person shows me how to do that, because I'm watching their videos, you know, and they'll show you, and then I'm like, Ed, you're an idiot. That guy did stuff there that you never seen anybody do, and it was educational when you learn something from him that you just never. It's like, oh man, yeah, that's a good idea. So hey, you know what? The way you do it might be a way that nobody else has done, and you might have some educational tips in there, right? So go ahead and do what makes you feel good. That's what I say. If you like to show everybody how to load them up every time, have a good time. Some people edit that out, the loading part, that's fine. I appreciate that if I'm watching a video, if you load really, really slow, like I do sometimes. But hey, if you're talking and shooting the breeze, time goes by fast. Don't seem slow at all. It's like, oh man, time to go home already, eh? That's the kind of day I like, especially when I'm out working or something, you know. Got me work done. It's time to go. Oh, nobody likes a long, dragged out day. But anyway, I thought I'd compare them two and show you what they look like. I think I got a little bit of a different angle on them. I'll put them real close together, and I'll flip the camera down here, and hopefully I get them on there, and you can get a second look at what's the Potsdam pistol from the 18th century as compared to the Traditions Kentucky rifle. It's a little fella, this Kentucky rifle is. It is a very little fellow, very small. But that's his, that would be them. So you're looking at a lot bigger, heavier firearms in the old 18th century compared to today. So if you're out hunting, plus if you're gonna be out a lot carrying this thing, you can make a strap for it and carry it on your shoulder if you need to. But it's not super heavy. I don't know what it weighs. Oh, I don't know. I can't really make a good guess. I'd say 7 pounds, maybe. I don't know if it weighs that much. Which is heavier? This is the Traditions Flintlock, or the Potsdam. Oh, yes, definitely the Traditions is heavier. It's going to be that extra weight in the better. Could you imagine in the old frontier, you're taking your fire, your shot? You better get this thing in your shoulder right, I'll tell you that. When I shoot this thing, for some reason, it'll kick up and bust my cheekbone right here. A couple shots with this thing and my cheekbone is all red and beat up, and it hurts like hell because it goes boom and it cracks me, and I don't know why. When I get down on the sights, it's like boom right on the side of my face. Don't know why this gun does that, but don't like me. But you better get that thing in your shoulder and get it right, because it's cut for your shoulder. If you get that point in there, or the bottom point in there, this point, you're going to be crying like a little baby after that thing kicks you. Yes, sir. So you better make sure, real sure, that you shoulder this guy, and you shoulder it right. So that's in there, right? Right in there. Right behind that, right in that shoulder. You make sure you got her good and tight, because when she kicks, you don't want this point or this point get into your shoulder, because you're going to have one sore ass shoulder. Pardon my French. Pardon me, monsieur. I used some bad language, huh? But one time I used a little bit of foul language. Talked about fish from the dam, or dam fish. And they were from the dam. That's where I caught them, down at the dam. Yes, okay, well, that's a whole different subject from the previous video, right? Okay, so that's that. So that's a little tip on shouldering. You better hold it right. Now I watched a fella shoot one of those, a brown bass, and he didn't quite have it shouldered real good. He had about half of it in his shoulder, and it gave him a good hard kick. And he's an older fella, so he felt it, I tell you that. And you will feel it if you're older, especially. If you're younger, you can take it better. But needless to say, you got to be careful how you shoulder them, and you better get your shoulder into that. Some people, now this is just what I've read and stuff, but they say, why would you do that? Why would you make it these horrible sharp points? Oh, that would hurt, huh? It's for fighting? Yeah, you could use it for that. It's kind of got the war club kind of thing going there, maybe. Why would they do that? But actually, it was more when they were holding on to their firearm. It was kind of a way to get your shoulder into that, and it kind of held the gun into your shoulder, like you could hold it while you were doing stuff, because it's kind of set in there. And these are kind of work as a bit of a handle to keep that stock from sliding up or down, because if you just got a flat stock, it could slide off, but those tend to grip into the shoulder. So, but needless to say, if you get one of those Traditions, yep, you want to be sure that you shoulder it good. Now, I don't know if you can see the writing on this barrel or not. It got me me cover caught there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Maybe you don't care or want to see it. I don't know. It's got writing on that side. And then it's got a bunch of scribbling on this side too. And I don't know if you probably can't read it. But, you know, it's a nice piece, but the stock, like I said, you don't want to get it wet because your lamination will come off. And of course you can see, I don't know if you can see the two colors. It looks like the wood's made from two different guns, right? And we got these. We had two of them. Well, actually, I got one that's a percussion. That's before I got into flintlocks. I haven't been into flintlocks that long. I said, well, I want to try and play around some black powder, so I got percussion. I never messed with flintlocks. And then my son, he decided he was going to do flintlocks, and he brought two of them to the house, and he said, Dad, this is for you. So he got me into flintlocks, and now, we've got that problem. We like us the flintlocks, huh? And you would like them too, but first you have to play with them a little bit. And find somebody, if you can find a good person that plays with them, that you can play with them too, you'll have a good time and lots of fun, huh? Because they are fun. And if you're in a big hurry and all that kind of stuff, and you just want to, you know, speed up everything, it's not that kind of game. It's a slower pace in life and a good time. It's a good time. Slower pace, good time. So, needless to say, those are two. I decided to compare it to that's the biggest, longest pistol I got is at Potsdam. And of course it's got the wooden ramrod, but it's the one from India ramrod. And it disappears down the barrel too, huh? So if you got anything sticking up, you know it's got a load in it, right? So if you go to pack stuff down with these, you're probably going to want to keep your hand like that. You never want to go clear up here. That's a good way to break them. I've seen that in a video. It's one of them videos you think that you've watched one time too many, and it's not the case, huh? It's not the case. Oh, I guess it won't play flute sounds, will it? Let's try to play the flute on it, huh? Yes, sorry. It's too much fun, right? So I said, hey, go down and make a video. Go down and video that Potsdam pistol and the Kentucky traditions. Deer season's going on this week. I didn't want to go out and go bang bang and make noise. Folks are hunting, and I'm going to respect their hunting and not go out there and go boom. Me, personally, and much as I know, it's more likely to scare deer to you than away from you, especially if it's behind them or something. Because, you know, that's just the way it is. It's how they are. So I don't worry about that too much. I had a friend of mine tell me one time, he says, if you hear a bunch of banging and cracking off of guns, turn around and look that direction because they're running the deer to you. I was up in a tree. I climbed up in a tree and I had a view of a big, huge field. And I'm up in this tree. Of course, I'm at like 16, 17 years old. I'm just a young kid hunting on our own property. And I'm looking out across the big hayfield. I got that whole hayfield. And behind me, you turn around, and it's nothing but old grapevines and stuff. And there's a little hole about that big. And way down in that little hole, about that big, is a gate and a fence. And you can see a little bit there. And I looked down there and I thought, well, ain't no sense in looking that way or trying to see anything. I ain't even got a shot, except there's just a little hole where you can see that gate. So I turn around, I'm watching the hayfield, right? And all of a sudden behind me, I hear boom, 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 boom. I thought, oh crap. Old Melvin told me if you hear a bunch of shooting, turn around, look that direction, they might be running deer to you. So I turned around, right? And I look at this little hole with the gate. And I'm telling you, this like happened in slow motion. And I'm standing there looking, and I've got my gun kind of ready because Melvin told me to get ready because they might be running some deer to you. But I don't know how I'm going to get ready for anything because there's nothing but this little hole. And I'm just like kind of, and I see a deer jump over that gate. And I'm telling you, that deer was like this big. It's just, oh, it was so far away down over, and oh, it was ridiculous. Odds of hitting that are slim and none, right? And I pull the gun up and I put it to that little hole, and the deer is over the fence and gone past the hole. So I'm just like holding the gun there with my mouth about half hanging open and thinking, well, I really didn't have time to think, but another one came over the fence, and just as it came over the fence, boom, I pulled the trigger. And I was sitting there in the tree, and it went down. I thought, oh my gosh, I got that. So I come down out of the tree, I about broke my neck. I set the gun up along the side of the tree, and I ran down to the deer. And of course I got my knife out, and I don't know, it's my first deer I'm by myself. This thing is flopping around and kicking and everything, and I'm thinking, holy mackerel. And I was kind of trying to wait for a second for it to die, but it didn't seem it was going down. I wanted to get it gut right away because I want to get it bled out and everything. Don't want my meat to go bad because I'm hunting for the meat, not like just sport. So it's kicking around, and I ended up getting it gutted and everything, and took it to the checking station. And of course I'm in there, and I said I need to check a deer, and they said, all right, what do you got? And I said, I got a deer. And they said, what do you got, a buck or a doe? I said, oh, I don't know. Now mind you, I'm like 16, my first deer, pretty much all by myself. And he says, you don't know? He says, you know, you gutted it, didn't you? I said, oh yes, it's a buck. It was a button buck. And so I wanted everything from that. I wanted that first slug. That's my first deer. I want that slug, and I want that slug badly. So I checked that deer all over, trying to find out where the slug went in, because when we cleaned it and everything, we never found any bullet holes or no slug or nothing in it, you know. And looking, the only thing you could find on that deer was a pumpkin ball behind the ear, where the pumpkin ball had hit the deer behind the ear and bounced off. That's how far away it was. And I was using I think it was a Harrison and Richardson 16 gauge slug, single barrel, single shot, 16 gauge Harrison Richardson with a 16 gauge slug. That's what I whacked him with. And it bing, bounced off. He went simple, and I was cutting a live deer. If I wouldn't have got him gutted, he probably would have got up and took off. Maybe he would have come out of it. I mean, I just knocked him simple with that slug. That's how far away he was. And I didn't get my slug because obviously it bounced off. And it didn't even go in. Didn't even hurt the fur or nothing. There was just a place where he could place a slug behind his ear, where I found an indentation that he didn't have on the other side, which would have been on the side that was facing me when I shot. So that was my first deer. And it was pretty tasty too. We enjoyed it. Thought I'd tell that story while I was at it. But yep, that's my first deer, so pretty interesting. But yeah, I wasn't too swift, or not too smart apparently, huh? You gutted it, didn't you? But that was, you know, I was all worked up and everything. Woo, woo, that's got his first deer, and I'd been hunting them for years, but they never let us go out and target shoot or practice or anything. My stepfather would say, here's 2 slugs for you. And that's all you got, was 2. And usually that's if you had the double barrel, and if you didn't have that, he only give you 1. So you only had 1 shot, and that was it. So I'm assuming that's the only slug I had. There's no, you know, crazy other shooting. You can't do anything. So that's what he would give you. And back in them days, I think, I'm not sure, but it was our own property, so we hunted on it. Boy, did they ever destroy the cornfield, them deers did. Holy mackerel. They tore them up. But those was the good old days of hunting. And I don't do it anymore, but these guys around here do. I see them out there in their orange vests and all that good stuff. Thank heavens that they wear those. Be safe and everything out there. Make sure you got plenty of orange all over you. The more orange you got, the less likely somebody's going to accidentally, you know, have an accident. And you don't want that, because, ew, it leaves a mess. It's no fun. You got better things to do than recuperate from some silly accident, right? That shouldn't have never happened in the first place. But yep, we've been highly blessed, and I hope you have too. And if things aren't going your way, I hope that you work in making good decisions and everything, and get things working on your side that's positive and great and helps you to become a greater and better person and enjoy yourself. And I hope you enjoy this video. Sorry I didn't have a professional cameraman or a professional studio or none of that kind of stuff. This is just me down here playing around, putting up a video. I will enjoy this video myself. I will watch it, and I might be embarrassed about some stuff, or I might say some things that are wrong, or whatever. It's like, oh no, crap, board skate. But yes, I was quite shocked when I realized that I was talking about the Potsdam while I was showing the British Sea Service pistol. If nothing gives it away quicker, it's the towers and the crown on the side of it, and the round frizzen top and not flat. And this one here is the Potsdam, because you can tell it's flat on the top. And the rifle's the same way, or not the rifle, but the shotgun or the smoothbore. Potsdam is the same way, flat on the top of the frizzen. That's the way they liked it. And so this flat cover works really good on that. It's made from a piece of leather, and it's got a leather strap in it. And it's all, you know, it's all period cracked except for this here bobby pin that is in there. You see it? It's, oh, I forgot that was in there. Why is that bobby pin in there for? Well, it's still got the rubber tips on it, but basically I stuck it through there. I kept that bobby pin through there because it fell out of me George Washington wig. For a touch hole pick. I don't even know if it'll fit in that thing. It's a little big on the end, but you can pull the little plastic off the end of it, which hopefully if it come out in your touch hole, you'd be having trouble because it's going to block everything. I don't know if it's a good idea to leave them on there, but apparently at the time, I'm pretty sure that's why that's in there. I don't see any other purpose for it at this point. But yeah, all right, so I'm going to sign off here. Hope everybody's having a great and wonderful day. If I get some other ideas on something to come down and look at, I'll come down and put something together. I always enjoy just looking at these guys and checking them out. Thinking, you know, they're interesting. I especially love the history pieces from the 18th century. Those are really cool. You just can't really enjoy those enough. So, all right, well, everybody have a great day, and we will talk at you in the next video.